Hello, everyone. How's your Thursday going? I hope going well. Just give a moment for people to get online. So we're going to do some yoga tonight. My name is Susan Searle, and this is Sunwater Spa. I hope you're all having a good day, or as good as you possibly can in this time of quarantine, stay at home. So tonight I thought we would focus on prana. And prana might be a word that you're very familiar with, or it might be something that you're not so familiar with. So I just want to share it with you a little bit before we get started. This comes out of the book called, I know it's backwards for you all, but Teaching Yoga by Mark Stevens. But he gives a really good explanation of prana. So let me just share it with you really quick. It says, prana has many descriptions. The energy permeating the universe at all levels, physical, mental, intellectual, sexual, spiritual, and cosmic energy, all vibrating energy, all physical energy such as heat, light, gravity, electricity, the hidden or potential energy in all beings, the prime mover of all activity, the energy that creates, protects, destroys, the vigor, the power, the vitality, life, and spirit, the principle of life and consciousness, the breath of life of all beings in the universe, the hub of the wheel of life, being and non-being. Those are just a few definitions of prana energy. And some of the old Vedic readings talk about that there's a story of prana and all the other physical elements like the eyes and the ears and the nose and the mouth and the hands. We're all arguing who was the best, who is the greatest. And I think that's interesting because you can find that in many different religious traditions. I can think of in Christian tradition, there's the, we are many parts. What part of the body is most important? The ear, the eye, the mouth, same thing. But in this Vedic tradition of this argument, if you will, of trying to see who's the most important, who's the strongest, who's the best, what's needed the most. And it's interesting because that's sort of what I feel like is going on in the world around us right now. Everybody's got their opinion on what's right, what we should be doing, and what you should be doing with your quarantine time. And you should be, working super hard and going on a major fast or a diet or trying to incorporate all your things. And then other people are like, no, you should be watching Netflix and relaxing and doing whatever you want. It seems to be just everywhere around us, this argument of who's the best, who's the biggest, who's the strongest, what's the most important. But what I find interesting about the story is, while all the body parts are arguing, if you will, really prana wins. We can't live without life. Prana is the winner, life force, energy, breath. We can't live without our breath. We can live without a lot of things, as we are discovering, but we can't live without our breath. So tonight, I thought we would focus on that, focus on our energy, focus on our breath. All right, so I'm going to come back to my mat, and we'll get started. You can come down into child's pose and start just breathing into your back. So just taking a child's pose, if you're not already there, come on down to your mat, drop your hips down, just reach your fingers out, crawl them out, stretch out, let your forehead come down to the ground. And just breathe into your back. Fill your whole body with breath. So tonight, consciously just paying attention to your breath. Bringing awareness to the quality of your breath. I'm just working to get your breath to be smooth and even. We're going to try to maintain that throughout our practice tonight. Smooth, even breath. And so just lifting yourself up, find a seated position. However is comfortable for you to sit. You can sit on a pillow, you can sit on a blanket, or just sit on the floor. All right, bring your hands to your heart. Let's open our practice with one chant of Om. Take a deep breath in. Exhale all the way out. And then inhale for Om. Good. Interlace your fingers, draw your arms up, palms face the ceiling. Pull your ribs into your body, and we're just going to breathe right here. So I want you to fill your lungs up. Feel them stretch and open along the sides. Feel the front of your rib cage expand with your breath. Feel the back of your rib cage expand with your breath. And then don't forget about bringing the breath all the way down to your belly. Let's take a moment here. Breathe. Good. And release. Let your hands just rest gently into your lap. Drop your chin forward and take your head around for an easy neck roll. And then take your head the other way. Let's do that again. One time each side around. And other side. Awesome. All right, come back into the center. We're going to come up into standing. So make your way up. And then find your feet on the ground. Nice solid footing, if you will. So spread your toes. Pull your ribs and belly in. Reach your hands along the side of your body. Be a mountain for a moment. Find some steadiness here. Just remember, this is your practice tonight, so I want you to let how you're feeling determine your practice. If you got lots of energy and you want to add some other things in, I'll give you lots of variations. If you're feeling a little tired tonight, feel free to take it easy. I'll give you options for that. So as I mentioned at the beginning, you know, there's no wrong way, no right way. I mean, it's your practice. You know, we could argue the benefits of a yin practice versus a yang practice. But there's no right and no wrong. Tonight, I just want you to breathe and let your body tell you how to move. Inhale, reach your arms up, stretch tall. Exhale, take an easy fold. So knees soft, just fold down. And then pull your belly in, start to curl yourself up. Reach your arms up again, stretch tall. Exhale, soft knees, just float down. Come all the way down. Pull your belly up and in and lift. Inhaling as you rise up. Reach your arms up tall. And then interlace your fingers behind your neck. So this is gently. We're going to pull the elbows in. Now, pull your chin into your chest. Soften your knees. Start to pull your belly in super strong. And you're going to gently is the important word here, start to roll down. So chin in, belly in, rolling down, using your arms to just curl down. You're going to bring your elbows to your knees. So you got to bend your knees a lot. Now do that same thing slowly up. So start to come up. Inhaling your breath as you lift. And you're going to open your elbows out like petals on a flower. Lift your chest up. Let's do that again. So start to curl in. Make it slow. Control your movements. Rounding your back. And reverse. Inhaling as you lift up. Open your chest, big stretch up. We're going to do that one more time. Feels nice in our back. And back up. Inhale, open. Good, release. Reach your arms up to the sky, big stretch. We're going to brush the floor. I want you to exhale, open your mouth. Inhale, lift up. Exhale. Let's do this a few times. Exploring prana. So really exhale all your breath. Inhale, lift. Exhale. Inhale through your nose. Exhale from your mouth. Good. Stay down this time. And just hang. Let your belly rest on top of your legs. Gently shake your head yes and no. Getting rid of any tension in your neck. And then start to straighten your legs. Take an easy forward fold. Now remember, if your hamstrings are tight, you're going to keep your knees slightly bent. Lift your tailbone up. Top of your head works down to the ground. And then just shift from one side to the other. Bend one knee and then the other. Just kind of move here. Find some freedom in your practice. And then place your hands onto the ground. Take 2 steps back into your downward facing dog. Good. Hold your downward dog. So spread your fingers nice and wide. Press into your fingertips. And then look at your fingers. You want your pointer finger to point to the top of your mat. And then it's almost like you're pinching your thumb and your pointer finger towards each other. And then kitty cat claws, put your fingers into the ground. Good. And then from your hands, from your wrist, you're externally, so away from each other, rotate your arms. And then that's going to let your shoulder blades come onto your back. Let's do some rolls. So inhale up on your toes. Exhale back to your heels. And just waking up your legs. Now use your toes, shift forward to a plank pose. So plank, your shoulders are just slightly in front of your wrists. Pull your ribs and belly up strong. Reach your heels back. Crown of your head straight forward. Now if you're like, whoa, Susan, this is way too much for me tonight, you're going to do the same move with your knees on the ground. But I want you to really keep your belly engaged and try not to stick your hips way out behind you. Good. Bend your elbows, lower down to the ground. Untuck your toes. Inhale and lift up for Cobra. So in your Cobra, you hug your elbows in, shoulders away from your ears. Just a gentle tilt of your head, so you're not cranking your head up. Hold this pose for a couple more breaths. You should feel your belly working into the ground when you take that breath. So you're filling up your belly and it presses against the floor, causing the air to go into your back side of your body. Good. Release down. Turn your toes and you're going to lift up to downward facing dog. Roll back again to downward dog. Shift your hips from the right to the left. And just kind of exploring this pose, finding some space. So as I mentioned, the breath, the prana, life force energy, is the winner. And that is especially true in our practice. You could lay on your back and just breathe the whole time here tonight, and you would be doing yoga because your breath is involved. So inhale, come forward into your plank pose again. Maybe you put your knees down. Option, go right to the floor, or you can lower to chaturanga. Now if you're going to work into this pose, I want you to keep your shoulders higher than your elbows. Don't drop down here. Not good for your shoulders or your elbows. Use your toes, push forward. You're going to come into upward dog. Elbows soft, not locked, and your knees are off the floor. So when your legs are on the floor and you straighten your arms all the way back, all that does is put tension in your low back. So I don't want you to do that. If your legs are on the floor, bend your elbows a lot and stay with Cobra. Great pose. Or belly thighs off the floor, tops of your feet are on the ground, and you're in upward dog. Those are your options. Pick one you like. Roll back, downward dog. All right, you guys ready to connect breath and movement, which is essentially what vinyasa means. We're going to walk our feet to the top of our mat. And then inhale, rise up with your breath. Come all the way up to the top. Bring your hands to your heart. Pause. Quick breath right here. Breathe, check in. Let's time every movement to a breath. Inhale, reach your arms up. On your exhale, fold right here. Exhaling down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the ground, step back. Keep exhaling as you lower down. All of that is one breath. Untuck your toes. Inhale, find your Cobra. It feels a nice stretch into your back and your shoulders. Lower down. Push off the floor. Downward facing dog. Good. Inhale, up on your toes. Exhale, bend your knees. Take lots of little steps as you're exhaling. Walk your feet to the top of your mat. You have no breath here. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, all the breath and fold. Inhale, rise with your breath. Strong legs, squeeze them together, reach tall. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Let's do that again. Inhale. Exhale, fold from the waist. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground. Step back to plank. Exhale and lower, your choice. Inhale, lift the chest. Exhale, push back. Inhale, up on your toes. Bend your knees. Take 2 big steps if you can, or stay with the little steps. Halfway lift on your inhale. Exhale, fold. Rise with your breath. Inhale, lift. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground. You can step, or those of you who like to float back, come back into chaturanga. And then push your heart forward. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Inhale, up on your toes. Bend your knees. If you like, hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Rise up. Breathe. Hands to your heart. Pause right there. Check in with your breath. Ujjayi breath. Breath of sound. So the softening through the throat. You hear yourself breathe. It's kind of like, I say Darth Vader mask breathing or scuba breathing. So you hear that breath, that smooth quality in your breath. Takes practice, so don't get frustrated if you're like, I don't get it. It's fine. Just do your best. Let's do that. Inhale. Inhaling through the nose. Exhaling through the nose. It's a little different. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, hands on the ground, step back or float back. Exhale and down. Inhale, opening up. Exhaling to downward dog. Inhale, up on your toes. Bend your knees, hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift. And fold. Rise with the breath. Kind of carry that wave up, inhaling. Hands to your heart. Let's do it again. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift your head. Come back into plank or chaturanga. Inhale as you push away from the floor. Exhale as you come back. Inhale up onto your toes. Bend your knees. Hop, step, float. Halfway lift. Exhale. Big breath. Inhale. Exhale. One more time, just the breath cue. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Rise all the way up. Hands to your heart. Pause. Check in. Find the quality of your breath. So sometimes if you go to an Ashtanga yoga class, they actually just kind of clap, like inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So you start to find this rhythm of your breath. That's what we're working on tonight, rhythm. Let's do one more time, but we're going to add on and make this into Surya Namaskar B. So we're going to add double the amount of breaths in the work that we've been doing. So toes together, heels apart. Bend your knees. Inhale to chair pose. Exhale and straighten and fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Hands on the ground. Come back to your plank. Exhale and lower. Inhale, open your heart. Exhale, downward dog. Right foot makes quick steps, so you don't have time to lift it behind you. Left heel down. Now inhale as you ride the wave of the breath up. Exhale, pull the right foot back and keep exhaling if you can. I know that part's hard. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, downward dog. Left foot, quick step up. Inhale, rise. Exhale. Keep exhaling and lower. Inhale. Exhale, downward dog. Rise up onto your toes. Bend your knees. Hop, step, float your feet. Halfway lift and fold. Bend your knees, chair pose. Inhale. Hands to your heart. Pause. Check the quality of your breath. Now if you feel winded, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just try to gain control of your breath. Anytime you need to just pause, just do so. Hold downward dog or hold any other poses and just pause. Catch your breath. Breathing takes practice. That sounds funny because we do it all the time without thinking about it, but in our yoga practice, it does take practice. Bend your knees, inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Come back into plank. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot, quick step up. Left heel down. Inhale. Exhale. Keep exhaling. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot up by the left thumb. Inhale and exhale. Inhale, exhale. Up on your toes, bend your knees, hop, step, or walk your feet. Halfway lift. Exhale, come into chair pose. Straighten, circle your hands to your heart. Pause. Inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fold. Inhale, head up, back into plank. Inhale, open your chest. Exhale, right foot steps. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, push away from the ground. Exhale, roll back. Left foot. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale, downward dog.
Inhale, top of your mat. Take a halfway lift. Fold, bend your knees, chair pose. Straighten, hands to your heart. Stay here and breathe, or let's do it again. Bend your knees, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Right foot steps. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Left foot steps. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Feel that prana rising. Inhale up on your toes. Bend your knees, hop, step, or float. Halfway lift. Hold. Chair pose, inhale. Straighten. Hands to your heart. Breathe. If you got one more in you, let's go for it. If not, just stay here and breathe. Your practice. Bend the knees, inhale. Exhale. Inhale, come back. Exhale. Inhale. 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 Exhale. Stay here and breathe. Quality of your breath. If it's short and shallow, see if you can gain control. Slow your breathing down. Find your breath here. Breathe. All right, inhale, reach your arms up tall. Ribs in. Come over to your right side. Take a half moon. Breathe. I want you to think about really breathing into your left ribs. Stretch over. Chin off your chest. And inhale, back up. Ribs in. Let's go to the other side. All right, now we're opening the right lungs. Right rib cage. Breathe. And then inhale. Exhale, take a dive to the ground. Bring your hands around behind your back. Interlace your fingers. Draw your arms up. And if you can, over your head. You can either have your palms open or you can interlace your palms closed. Good. So often in this pose, we have a tendency to throw our hips back. So I want you to aim your hips to be right over your heels. So that's going to put more weight in your toes. That's okay. Let your heels feel like they're coming up. And then take the tension out of your neck. So don't look at the ground. Instead, just look at your shins. So your neck feels long behind you. And then releasing your hands to the floor. Step your left foot back and come into a runner's lunge. All right, we're going to stay on the toes, heel up. And we're going to breathe here. So we're going to inhale, arch your back up. Exhale, melt into your pose. So if you're having a hard time, keep going with that. If you're having a hard time with your hands on the ground, find a pillow, book, water bottle, something to put your hands on underneath you. So again, just finding that breath. Inhale, pull it up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale, stay here. And then reach the right arm up, twisting in your pose. Good. Drop your right hip down. Level out your hips. Pull your abdominal muscle up, belly in. If you want a little more arch, you can take your hand gently behind your head. And like you're laying back in a pillow, arch back. Open your chest towards the ceiling. Ah, it should feel nice. And then taking your hand back down to the ground, outside of your right foot, step back into downward facing dog. Again, feel that heat in your body from your sun salutations. We did A and B today. The rhythm of our breath builds fire in our body, heat in our body, so we can go deeper in our poses. All right, step your left foot up between your hands. Find your lunge on the other side. Now coil up, so really engage your belly. Pull it up, round your back like you're doing cat pose. And then release. Let's do a few of those. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Stay here. Leave your right hand on the floor. Turn. Left arm reaches up. And if you want to, take your hand right at the base of your neck. And then chin back. You're curling away from your leg. Open your chest up towards the ceiling. And then release, hand back to the outside of your left foot. Step back into your downward facing dog. Shift forward into plank pose. Shoulders in front of your wrist, belly up, knees down if you want. All right, right knee comes onto the floor in line with your right wrist. You might want to move your right foot out behind you for balance. We're going to shift to the right side. Vashisthasana. To get us started, we're going to keep that knee on the ground. Good, and then come on back into plank pose. Let's do the other side. Knee down, open yourself up. Vashisthasana. All right, we're going to put this to some movement and breath. Option, knee on the ground. Plank pose, or stay in your full side plank. So we're going to stay on the right hand. So we're going to inhale right side, lift the left arm up, and then bring it back down to plank. Right side again, so we're just going to stay on one side. Inhale, open. Exhale, plank. Inhale, open. Exhale, plank. One more time. Inhale, open. Exhale, plank. Lower everything down onto the floor. Untuck your toes. Reach your hands back. Inhale, let your chest rise. Float your hands off the floor. Try to keep your feet grounded though. Big toes on the floor, little toes on the floor. Good, and release. Hands right along your rib cage. Press back to child's pose. So take a moment just to roll through. Give yourself a break here. Settle down onto the ground. Reconnect with your breath. And inhale, lifting up left side. So maybe knees gonna stay on the ground, or maybe you're gonna take the full pose. Inhale, roll to your left hand, right arm lifts. Exhale, come back to plank. Inhale, lift it up. Exhale, back to plank. Inhale and reach. Exhale, plank. Inhale and open. Exhale. Good, lower everything down. Option, interlace your hands behind your back or just do what we did a moment ago. Hands on the side. Feet on the floor. Inhale. Float your chest up. Press your big toe, little toe into the ground. And again, feel your breath as you breathe into your belly. Find that rhythm, that gentle lift and lower of your chest. Good, and soften. Make a pillow with your hands. Turn your head to either side. Lift up your feet, and you're going to let your knees windshield wiper side to side. And then come back into the center. Bring your hands along the side of your rib cage, and then lift up to downward facing dog. Roll through your body, stretch back. It feels nice. Let your hips swag side to side. Good. Now bend your knees a lot. Bring your belly to the top of your thighs. Keep your ribs up, but you're reaching your belly back. Good. And then straighten through the legs, find downward dog again. Take your right foot, step up between your hands. And then we're going to wind up into warrior two. So your left heel's on the ground, right foot forward. So track this right knee over your big and little toe. And then move with breath. So we're just going to sweep forward and sweep back. Find some fluidity, some ease in your movements. Just take it back and forth. Each movement with a breath. And then taking your hands to the floor on either side of your right foot, step back into downward dog. Take the left foot, step up between your hands, right heel down, warrior two. And then just easy, back and forth. Make it big, take up space. Time your breath and your movements to be synchronized. So I've often heard of yoga is moving meditation, or yoga is a dance with the breath. However, in yoga, the breath is always the leader of the dance. I know that's hard. Sometimes we don't want to give up control, but the breath tells us when to move. So every time we start a new breath, empty a breath, then we can move. One more time. And then hands to the ground. Finding your downward facing dog. Stretch back. All right, right leg lifts up to the ceiling. Bend your right knee for scorpion. So think of your right leg as a scorpion tail. So point your toe, your big toe, bend your knee. Again, find that stinger, if you will. Now, take the very front of your right kneecap and start to aim it up towards the ceiling. When you do that, you might feel a little work in the inside of your left knee. And if you do, I want you to bend that knee a lot. So your bottom leg, your support leg doesn't have to be locked straight. Should be a little softness there, but if it hurts your knee at all, bend it more. Keep opening up. Good, now square your hip, Pull your ribs up to create space as you draw that leg up and through, right between your hands. Go ahead and let your back knee come down onto the ground here. And let's rise up into a low crescent. Inhaling, reaching up. Hug your legs together. Check to make sure this knee is tracking straight forward. It's not collapsing out to the side. Pull your ribs back into your body. Find your breath. Good. Find cactus arms. So open up your chest, bring your shoulder blades together. Take an inhale. And reach up. And we're going to reach forward. So you can stay right here. If you need a quad stretch and it doesn't bother your knee, go ahead and bend your back leg up. And then if you can reach your right arm around, find your foot and gently hug that heel towards your hip. So we're not pushing the left knee into the floor at all. You're actually forward on that knee, so it's the bottom of your thigh, if you will, that's on the floor. Too much, just keep the leg extended. Good, let's release. Hand to the ground, step back, downward facing dog, hips up, reach back. Let's find lion's breath. So for lion's breath, you're gonna open up your mouth, stick your tongue out, and exhale. Cool thing is nobody can see you do this, right? Because you're at home, unless you're practicing with a good friend. Take an inhale, open your mouth, inhale, roar it out, lion's breath, inhale. All right, left leg lifts up, find your scorpion tail, bend your knee, get that big stinger up into the air. Now watch your right hip that it's not creeping forward. You keep working it back, right knee slightly bent, ribs up into your body. And square your hips, really engage your core, lift your spine as you step your foot up between your hands. Right knee on the ground, rise up for your crescent on the ground. Good, ribs in, hug your inner thighs together. Let's just do slightly different with the arms. Bring them behind your back. Inhale, open your chest. And release. Coming forward, staying here in a slow lunge, or lift the right leg up. Take your left hand around, grab your foot, work your right heel towards your hip. Turn your chest forward again. And release. Step back into your downward facing dog. I'm going to check my time, make sure I'm not going. Good. All right, inhale forward, find your plank pose. Hold it right there. Good, so let's use our core. So we're gonna take that right knee, pull it up and in, really arch your back up, engage your core. Extend the leg out. Let's do the other side. Left leg up and in. And extend out. Bend your elbows, lower yourself down onto your belly. Good, take your knees wide, so wide as the edges of your mat. Bring your toes together. Hands along your rib cage, elbows in. Inhale, start to lift up like you're doing Cobra. We're going to call this King Cobra. So I want you to work your head towards your feet, but leave your hips on the floor so you're not coming off the ground. You're working a curve. And reaching your head back, feet towards your head. And soften down. Good. Leave your feet where they are. Bring your hands along the side. So we're going to try that again. No hands. Inhale, reach up, float back. Oh, maybe you can grab your shins. If you can, grab hold and lift a little higher. And soften. Make a pillow with your arms. Turn your head to either side. Let your feet wag side to side. All right, let's take floor bow pose. So do two different versions of this pose. First, we're going to take our knees together and flex our feet. So that means like your soles of your feet are pointing straight up to the ceiling. Now, reaching back, see if you can connect. Now, if you're like, I can't do this, this is super hard, don't worry about it. I don't want you to like crank your back and your shoulder trying to get your foot. It doesn't do you any good to do that. So if this is not an easy, and I mean like easy reach, don't worry about it. Come back here, and you're just gonna do it here, okay? One day you're gonna be able to grab your foot, but I don't want you to injure yourself trying to get it today. So again, this is great. You're strengthening your back. If you can grab hold. Maybe one side is all you're doing right now. If you can grab both, grab both. Now imagine that your thighs are glued to the floor, so you're not lifting your thighs. You're going to push your thighs down, push your pelvis down, pull your low belly up and in though. So legs are super strong, fired up. Now kick your feet away from you, like you're trying to touch your toes to the wall behind you. That's going to lift your chest. I like to just bow my head here because I think it feels nice to do that. Take another inhale, exhale, and soften. Make your pillow, turn your head, let your back relax. Consciously draw your breath to your low back. Okay, version number 2. Bend your knees again. This time you are going to just slightly separate your knees and bring your feet together. So you're making more of a diamond shape. Reach your hands back, grab the outsides of your ankles. Keep your knees wide. This time they are going to lift up though. So on your inhale, start to lift your toes up towards the ceiling. Thighs will come off the floor. And you're making a teardrop or a diamond shape with your body. Now, if you can, manipulate this by rolling. This is really great for your abdominal muscles. It's super good for digestion. Not good if you just ate dinner though. So be mindful of that. So you can rock forward and back. Good. And then for fun, you're going to flip over to your right side. What? Yes, roll over. And then kick into your left hand. Reach back. And then the fun part, roll over to the other side. Same thing, rolling over onto your side. I'm going to kick into your right hand and open up the right shoulder. Take a breath. Feel that nice stretch in your chest and your shoulders and your back. And then come on back to the center. Bring your hands along the side of your rib cage. Roll yourself back into child's pose. Oh, that feels really good on your back after doing those. Walk your hands back so far, trying your best to get your hips all the way to your heels. Do your best. Get really small. Even you can push your hands into the ground and reach your back. Round your back and stretch. And then soften, forehead to the ground. Bring your hands back by your feet. inhale, lifting yourself off of the ground. We're going to take the right foot up between your hands. Coming back to your low lunge. Walk both hands to the inside. Stay on your hands or come on down onto your forearms. For an option in this pose, you're going to turn your right foot out to the right and then roll to the little toe side of your foot so your big toe comes off the ground and your knee works out to the right. If that's too much in your knee, feel free not to do that. This gives you a little more hip opening here. And then hands onto the floor to help lift you up. Walking your foot over, you're going to take your knee in between your hands for pigeon. Try your best to be level in your hips. So if you need to, you're going to put a pillow underneath your right hip, blanket, a towel, something so that you don't feel like you're falling over to the right side. So you want to be fairly square in your hips if that's at all possible. So take a moment to kind of make your nest. So if you're a pigeon, you kind of go, you watch pigeons, they kind of move side to side, you wiggle into it till they get to the right spot. And then walk yourself out and find your resting pigeon. Pull your ribs up into your body, pull your belly up and in. And then bring your mind back to your breath. How is your breath different in this pose? You want to stay in this pose and breathe for a few more breaths. Or if you'd like to move into mermaid or maybe even the full expression, go for that. So you're going to bend your left leg up. Reach back. See if you can grab with your left hand and then just work on turning your chest around to the front. That's stage one. Okay? If you feel like you can go a little further, you're going to put your foot into your left elbow crease. So you kind of slide the arm down. Now turn your chest back to the front. Turn your belly to the front. If it's available, right arm can lift up. Connect with the left. Turn your chest back to the front. So wherever you are, release out of your pose. Lift up into a downward dog. And then we're going to take the left foot to the outside of the left hand. Let your right knee come down. Stay on your hands or lower onto your forearms. Stay just like this or rotate. Left foot out to the left. Roll to the little toe, the knife edge of your foot, if you will, so that your big toe comes off the ground. Ribs up, belly in. Breathe into your left hip. Hands to lift you up, and we're going to take the left knee in between your hands, kind of wiggle in to find your right spot, and then lower into resting pigeon. If it bothers your neck, you can stack your hands or use a pillow or something to prop your head. Can you make two fists? Stay here, enjoy this pose, or add the next element of working in a mermaid pose. So chest to the front,
bending the right leg. Grab hold, turn your chest to the front, turn your belly to the front. Stay here or flip your hand to the inside and start to work your foot into your elbow crease. Turn your chest back to the front. Maybe left arm, turn your chest back to the front. Good. Softening out of your pose. Bringing the soles of your feet together as you come into Baddha Konasana. Take an inhale, and on your exhale, fold. Press your feet together, engaging the legs. Even though you're starting to move towards a resting pose, we want to keep the legs working to the last moment. Good, and then coming up, you're going to come onto your back. Taking the soles of your feet together here into Supta Baddha Konasana. So your knees don't need to touch the floor at all. They might, but they don't need to. And then interlace your fingers, draw your hands over your head, take a big stretch. Finding your breath again. Fill your lungs. Fill your belly. And releasing your hands, let's do a twist. So we're going to bring the knees up towards the ceiling. And then feet come off the floor. So it looks like almost you're in a visible chair underneath you. And then let both knees fall gently over to the right side. Extending your left arm out, you can turn and twist in this pose. Good, let's bring the knees back up through the center, and then we'll take it over to the other side. There you will. And you can turn your head opposite. Just enjoy that stretch in your back. Coming back into the center. Lift your feet up towards the ceiling. And take a few point and flex. And rolls in your ankles. And soften your legs, soften your knees. Take a moment and pretend you have a wall behind your legs. You're just letting the energy release down the back of your legs. Giving some love to your legs who hold you up all day long, take you from place to place. It just lets gravity, let the blood flow go the other way. And before you move into your final pose, your Shavasana, just take a moment to survey your body. We've talked a lot about breath, a lot about Prana, the life force energy. So just notice the energy shift in your body from your practice. Where do you feel the benefits of your practice? Or the effects, I should say, of your practice? Where do you feel the muscles maybe tingling? Where do you feel the heat in your body? How do you feel different from just over an hour ago? And then when you're ready, let your legs come down onto the ground. Turn your palms up, close your eyes, and find your final pose, your Shavasana. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Settling into your space. And just feel your breath moving through your body, almost like it's wind. It circulates through your belly, circulates down your legs, into your arms, all around you, kind of sweeping energy through your whole body. And then finding a very smooth, not forced at all breath, very natural rhythm. Just aware of your breath. Aware of the prana, the life force energy moving, pulsating through your body. Which is the most important body part? Is it your eyes because you can see? Is it your mouth so you can speak? Is it your brain so you can think? Is it your hands so that you can do? Is it your belly so that you can nourish yourself with food? Is the most important body part your feet because they take you places? Is your most important body part the heart because it's where love resonates? They're all important. And they all need each other. The prana, the breath. The breath is what sustains all of the body parts. It is the most vital, if you will, the breath. And thinking in a bigger picture, every single one of us is important, regardless of our social status, regardless of what country we live in, regardless of how much money we have or don't have, what color our skin is, what color our eyes are, what our faith is, what we believe. We're all needed to make this world. All of our gifts, if you will, are needed to be shared. And what connects us all? The breath. We all breathe the same air. The air that you're breathing right now is the same air as the people in China are breathing. The same air that the people in India are breathing. The same air as the people all the way down in the furthest tip to the smallest island, to the biggest city. We are connected by our breath. And while that might seem scary in this time of pandemic, it still is what unites us. It helps to remind us that we are all the same. For this last part of your Shavasana, I want you just to visualize your breath as positive prana energy. And can you visualize, can you see your breath reaching out reaching out to perhaps the person that's next to you, sending your breath to me as I am sending it to you. Can you send your breath out to all the people in the world who are struggling right now? Can you send that prana, that life force energy, out to those who are lonely, feel isolated, struggling with depression? Can you send your energy out, all the way out, anywhere your mind will take you? And just take the last few moments. Imagine, if you will, connecting all around the world with your breath. So of course you're at home, you can stay in your Shavasana for as long as your Shavasana is calling you to stay in it. But I will finish out our practice. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all know peace, and may our words, thoughts, and actions contribute to that peace in some way. Thank you so much for joining me here at Sunwater Spa. Hope to see you again next week. Every Tuesday and Thursday you can catch us live, or you can watch the recording whenever it's convenient for you. Much gratitude, very much appreciate you coming to practice with me, keeping this going for us. Have a great weekend. Namaste. Bye, see you next time.